Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're diving into the world of billion-dollar apps today. We've got George Berkowski's book, How to Build a Billion-Dollar App, and it's not about getting rich quick. This is about real entrepreneurs, kind of like you, turning app ideas into huge successes.
Absolutely. And what's cool is that Berkowski uses hard data and real examples from being right there building companies like Halo, the taxi app. So we're breaking down his strategies, insights, and maybe even a few cautionary tales.
Okay, let's unpack this. First, Berkowski paints this picture of this crazy mobile world. Like back in 2014, more mobile phones than people on Earth. And we spent $25 billion on apps that year. Crazy growth.
It is, and smartphones are ridiculously powerful now, like more powerful than those giant supercomputers from the 80s. Imagine that. That thing in your pocket. More powerful than machines that used to take up entire rooms.
No way. It's like having a supercomputer in your pocket. No wonder apps are everywhere.
Exactly. And this is where mobile operating systems come in. Berkowski says understanding those is key. You see, operating systems, like Windows, they're like the foundation of a house. They set the stage.
So it's like the platform everything else is built on.
Right. And with mobile, Apple and Google, they're leading the way with iOS and Android.
And the iPhone launched in 2007. That was huge.
Right, totally. Revolutionized everything. User-friendly, multi-touch, the App Store, new world for developers.
The floodgates for app innovation opened wide. Okay, so big mobile world, powerful devices, sophisticated systems. How do we actually build that billion-dollar app?
Well, Berkowski has a four-step framework. Step one, the million-dollar app. Validating your idea, the right co-founder, seed funding.
Laying the groundwork for the big dream.
You got it. Solid idea, yes, but make sure there's a market for it. Don't assume everyone needs an app for XYZ. Test your ideas, get feedback, be flexible.
Do your market research, basically, before you jump in head first.
Exactly. And that founding team, super important. Berkowski compares finding a co-founder to dating. You're in it for the long haul, building something together.
That's a good analogy. So what are you looking for? What makes a good co-founder?
He highlights experience, passion, and complementary skills. Everyone brings something different to the table. Take Square, for example. One co-founder was a glass blower with this idea for mobile payments. Then Jack Dorsey, tech experience, business guy, joins in. Then a software engineer builds the early versions, business side, tech side, the problem they're solving.
They had it all. A real dream team.
Absolutely. And passion. Building a billion-dollar app. Not a walk in the park. Needs someone just as driven, who believes in the vision and is ready for the challenges.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've got your idea, your dream team. What's next on that million-dollar app to-do list?
You need funding to get off the ground. A few options. Bootstrapping, friends and family, angel investors, accelerator programs.
Let's break that down. Bootstrapping is using your own money, right?
Correct. Savings, or even revenue from the app itself. Then there's the classic friends and family route. But be careful with those relationships. Cleared agreements are key.
Mixing business with personal stuff can be tricky. What about angel investors and accelerators?
Angel investors are individuals investing their own money in promising startups. They often bring experience and connections, like mentors who also back you financially. Accelerators are like boot camps for startups. Mentorship, resources, sometimes funding for equity in your company.
Like a fast track to get things moving.
Exactly. Y Combinator, Techstars, those were big names. They launched Airbnb, Dropbox, Stripe. Pretty impressive track record.
That's awesome. Funding team, validated idea. What about the app itself? Naming it, designing the first version. What does Berkowski say about that?
He says the name is crucial. It's your first impression. Short, catchy, memorable. Think Snapchat, Spotify, they stick with you.
Like branding 101, right? Make it memorable.
Exactly. And for design, start with a prototype, something you can test and get feedback on quickly. Paper designs, wireframes, before you write any code.
So you can see what works and make changes easily.
Exactly. And test with real users early on. Get feedback, make changes, and repeat. Make something people truly enjoy using.
Makes sense. Now, when you're building it, are there specific platforms Berkowski recommends?
He says iOS and Android are dominant, but don't just copy the design between them. Understand each platform's nuances to create a truly native experience.
So what works on iPhone might not work on Android.
Right. Users have different expectations. He has this great example from Halo. Launched their Android app as a copy of the iOS version. Feedback was terrible. Users hated it, felt like an afterthought.
Ouch, yeah, I see why.
So they redesigned it. True Android look and feel. And feedback was amazing. Even Google's CEO congratulated them.
So respect the platform, don't force things. How do you find early users to get that feedback?
Set up a beta testing program. Invite a select group to try it before it's public. Gather feedback, find bugs before launching to everyone.
A dress rehearsal before the big show.
Exactly. There are tools for this, Test Flight for iOS, and Google Play has a beta testing feature.
No excuses for skipping this step. All right, let's talk business. What about developing a business model? This is where things get real, right?
Absolutely. A clear revenue strategy from the start is crucial. Building a great app isn't enough. It needs to be financially sustainable. He outlines 5 core business models: gaming, e-commerce, SaaS, enterprise, and consumer audience building.
Okay, that's a lot. Real-world examples.
Sure. Gaming. Think Candy Crush Saga or Clash of Clans. Money comes from in-app purchases and subscriptions. E-commerce giants, Amazon, Alibaba, massive marketplaces making money through commissions and fees. Then there's SaaS, subscription access to software like Salesforce and Slack.
Those are familiar. What about enterprise and consumer audience building?
Enterprise apps are for businesses, streamlining operations or boosting productivity. Salesforce is a good example. They provide cloud-based tools for managing customer relationships.
So selling to companies, not just individuals.
Right. And consumer audience building is about building a large, engaged audience and monetizing it through things like advertising, subscriptions, or even selling merchandise. Facebook is the prime example. Huge user base. Money comes mainly from targeted advertising.
So you're building a place people want to spend time and then leveraging that attention.
Exactly. And he says to be adaptable with business models. As your app grows, you might have to adjust your revenue strategy. He uses Instagram as an example. Remember, they started as a check-in app called Burb.
Wait, Instagram was a check-in app. That's crazy.
Right, but it wasn't getting traction. The founders realized people were into the photo sharing part, so they shifted focus, making photo sharing simple and visually appealing. And boom, acquired by Facebook for $1 billion.
Amazing how much they changed. Shows how important adapting is. Now back to funding. How do you get those initial investments?
Bootstrapping, like we talked about, or friends and family. Angel investors, remember, are individuals investing their own money, often with valuable experience and connections.
Right, mentors with money. And accelerator programs are those intense boot camps that help get things going quickly. What should you consider when choosing which path to take?
Each option has its pros and cons. Bootstrapping gives you total control, but limited resources. Friends and family funding is great early on, but get those agreements in place. Protect those relationships.
Don't mix business with personal stuff and ruin relationships.
Exactly. Angel investors bring funding and guidance, but they want a share of your company. Accelerators have incredible resources, but are highly competitive, and you'll likely give up equity to participate. Weigh the costs and benefits.
No easy answer, just what's right for your specific situation.
Exactly. How much control are you willing to give up? How much risk are you comfortable with?
So with this $1 million app stage, it's validation, proving your idea, building your team, getting those initial investments. You're setting the stage for something big.
And that sets the stage for the next level, the $10 million app. Now things get really interesting.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about that. But we'll have to save that for part 2 of our deep dive. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Last time we were just getting to the $10 million app, the next step in Berkowski's plan.
Right. We've got our team, funding, and our prototype's been tested. What happens next to hit that $10 million mark?
This is all about product market fit. That moment when you know you've built something people love, something they need.
The dream, right. But how do you know when you've got it?
It's not like a light bulb goes off. It's more of a feeling. Berkowski compares it to finding the perfect pair of jeans. They fit right, they're comfortable, you want to wear them all the time.
I like that. Your product and your users' needs, a perfect match. What are some signs you're on the right track?
User engagement, for one. Are people using your app regularly, spending time on it, coming back for more?
So it's not downloads, it's about them actually using it, enjoying it.
Exactly. And measure that engagement. Daily active users, session length, retention rates, those numbers tell you if people are truly finding value.
Data's key here. But what if the data says you're not quite there yet?
Adapt. That's where adaptability comes in.
Right.
Think about Instagram. They started as a check-in app, Burbin.
Get out of here. Instagram to the check-in app. That's totally different from what it is now.
Right. They realized people loved the photo sharing part more. So they changed focus, made photo sharing easy, beautiful, intuitive.
A great example of listening to users and making changes leading to massive success. So you've got product market fit. What's next on the road to the $10 million app?
Building a growth engine, a system for getting new users, expanding your reach.
How do you do that? What does Berkowski recommend?
All sorts of things. App Store optimization, content marketing, social media, paid ads, even going viral.
Lots of options. Find the right mix for your app.
Right. And measure how well each channel is doing. Track your customer acquisition costs CAC. See which channels are bringing in the most valuable users.
Don't just throw money at everything and hope for the best. Be strategic.
Exactly. He also talks about virality, making your app spread like wildfire.
The dream. What does he say about that?
Leverage those social networks. Incentivize sharing. Like Dropbox and Uber, they give you bonuses for referring friends.
Turning your users into your marketing team.
Exactly. And he introduces this thing called the viral coefficient. It measures how well your app spreads through word of mouth.
That sounds a bit technical. Explain it like I'm not a data scientist.
Basically, it tells you how many new users each existing user brings in. If it's greater than 1, your app is growing exponentially. Every user brings in more than 1 new user, creating a chain reaction.
A snowball effect. The more users, the faster it grows. Powerful stuff. But besides getting new users, what else matters?
Keeping those users. Retention. It's not enough to just get them to download the app. You want them to stick around, to become loyal fans.
Like building a fan base for your favorite band. How do you do that? Keep users engaged. Coming back for more.
Understand their behavior, provide ongoing value. Berkowski talks about using analytics to see how people use your app, spot any issues or where they drop off. Like a detective, figure out why they leave and improve their experience.
Always looking for ways to improve based on what the data tells you.
Exactly. And excellent customer support is huge. Easy to get help, be responsive to feedback.
Make them feel valued, build a good relationship.
Exactly. So this $10 million app stage is product market fit, building that growth engine and keeping your users. You're building a base for sustainable growth.
This all leads to the $100 million app. Serious growth now. What challenges and strategies come with scaling up like that?
Well, you can't be scrappy and do everything yourself anymore. You need structure and organization, processes, delegating tasks, a team that can handle things getting more complex.
Can't just wing it. Need systems that can keep up with the growth.
Exactly.
Wow.
One of the first key hires, a VP of marketing. They'll create and run your marketing strategy to get users and boost revenue.
A marketing pro to take things to the next level. What should you look for in a VP of marketing?
Experience with mobile apps, understanding data and analytics, good leadership skills, a history of success.
Someone who knows what they're doing and can hit the ground running. What else needs attention as you scale?
Strong operations, systems for things like customer support, payments, logistics.
A whole company now, not just an app.
Exactly. And hire a COO, chief operating officer, to oversee all that.
Building a leadership team that can handle the growth. What about the app itself? How does development change?
Keep iterating, keep improving, even as you scale. Stay close to your users, get their feedback, refine your product.
No resting on your laurels.
Right. And build a strong product team that can handle the app becoming more complex. Product managers, designers, engineers with specific skills.
The team that keeps up with the growing user base and the changing market. Funding again. How do you pay for this expansion?
Series B funding, a bigger investment from venture capitalists. This will fuel your growth, let you scale your team, marketing operations.
Back to the VCs, with your vision for the future. What do they want to see at this stage?
Traction, a clear path to profitability, a strong team to execute your plan.
Prove you're not just a fad. You've got a business that can last and a team that can make it happen.
Exactly. A
Wow.
solid pitch deck, financial projections, a compelling story. Convince them you're a good investment.
So this $100 million app stage is all about scaling, putting processes in place, building a strong leadership team, and getting that funding to keep growing.
And that leads to the final stage, the $500 million app, the big leagues. It gets exciting, but also super challenging.
I'm hooked. What does it take to reach that level? What separates the good from the truly great?
Maintaining momentum, keeping innovating, managing culture as you scale. Stay true to your vision. Make sure your company culture doesn't get lost as you grow. Lead effectively. Make tough decisions.
The founder becomes a true leader. It's not just the idea anymore. It's about inspiring and guiding a large organization.
Exactly. And there are tons of challenges with growing so fast. Attracting and keeping top talent, managing expectations, making decisions that shape the future of the company.
That sounds incredibly demanding.
It is, but it's also incredibly rewarding. And that's what we'll dive into in part 3 of our deep dive.
Can't wait to hear more about navigating the $500 million app world. This is where dreams are made. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're on the final leg of our journey exploring the $500 million app stage. Exciting, but super challenging too, right?
Oh, absolutely. At this point, it's not just about the product or the team anymore. It's maintaining momentum, innovating, and leading a large organization. All those complexities.
We were talking about leadership in part two. What does Berkowski say about leading at this scale?
Strong leadership skills, for sure. Not just in you, but also in the people you bring in. Delegating well, empowering people, creating a culture of accountability.
So it's beyond managing, it's developing leaders who can really take charge.
Right. Moving away from that I have to do it all mindset and building a structure where other leaders can thrive.
And innovation. How do you keep that going in a large organization?
Stay agile. Avoid getting bogged down in bureaucracy. Empower your teams to make decisions quickly. He uses Supercell as an example, the company behind Clash of Clans. Small, independent teams, lots of autonomy.
So like a fleet of speedboats instead of a giant tanker.
Exactly. They can experiment, iterate, launch new games fast. Crucial in the gaming world, they've stayed innovative while becoming a multi-billion-dollar company.
That's amazing. What about company culture? It seems easy to lose sight of your core values as you grow.
It's a real challenge. Be intentional about preserving those values that got you here. Think back to the beginning. What was it like? What mattered most?
It was all about passion, creativity, a shared purpose,
Yeah.
everyone working together towards a goal.
That's the heart of company culture. And as you grow, you need to keep that alive, keep those values strong.
So how do you do that? How do you prevent that from getting diluted as you bring in more people, expand to new markets?
Communication, transparency. Keep employees in the loop. Share the vision and goals. Be open to feedback. Create a culture where everyone feels valued, like their voice matters.
Create a sense of ownership, make everyone feel invested in the company's success.
Right. And lead by example. Actions speak louder than words. If you want passion, innovation, customer focus, you need to show that.
Walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Makes sense.
He also talks about celebrating wins, big and small. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and forget to acknowledge people's hard work. Recognizing and rewarding success helps morale and motivation.
A little appreciation goes a long way. Now, mistakes happen, especially when you're growing fast. How does Berkowski say to deal with failures?
Embrace them as learning opportunities. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. See them as valuable lessons. Encourage experimentation, taking risks, and learning from those experiences.
Create a culture where it's okay to fail as long as you learn from it.
Exactly. And as you reach this level of success, you need to think about your exit strategy. What's the plan for this company you've built?
That's a big one. What are the options?
Acquisition or IPO. Either get bought out by a bigger company or go public, sell shares on the stock market.
Cash out or keep building as a public company. Big decisions with different rewards.
Exactly. He lays out the pros and cons of each, with examples of companies that have gone both ways.
Wow, this $500 million app stage is more than just the money. Leadership, culture, vision, and then deciding how to benefit from all that hard work.
It's the culmination of everything we've talked about. Years of hard work, perseverance, and passion.
This deep dive into billion-dollar apps has been incredible. From that initial idea to scaling a huge company. It's not just about the tech, it's about people, passion, and striving for excellence.
You said it. And as Berkowski says, building a billion-dollar app is a marathon, not a sprint. Dedication, resilience, and embracing the challenges. If you have the idea, the team, and the drive, anything is possible.
So for everyone out there dreaming of building that next big app, remember, enjoy the ride, learn from your experiences, never stop innovating. Maybe someday we'll be diving into your success story.
I'd love that.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We hope you found it insightful, inspiring, and maybe even a little life-changing. Until next time, keep diving deep.